Welcome to another edition of Buckeye Biz Buzz. I'm your host, Tedy Burton, the Buckeye Valley Chamber of Commerce friend raiser. This morning I have with me the Kuipers, and I'll let them introduce themselves. But one's Aaron and one's Brad, but I'll let them do it.
Good morning. Thanks for having us, Teddy. I'm Erin Kuiper.
I'm Brad Kuiper.
And thank you all for being here. What's your business name?
Sure. I'll let you. You came up with it.
It's Copper Star Real Estate. And actually, my wife and I started it just over 3 years ago. So I've had my real estate license since about 2007 and have worked with partners and done mostly land brokerage. And Aaron, for a long time, encouraged me to start our own company. And should have done it a lot sooner, but we did it when we did it, and it's been great. We're located right here in Buckeye, and most of our listings and business is in Buckeye, but really we do land brokerage all over Maricopa and Pinal County primarily.
Very good. So let's press the point. Aaron said you came up with the name Copper Star Realty.
Sure.
What's the significance? What does it mean to you?
That's a good question.
Let's go there.
Man.
Well, it's a couple things.
Yes.
So right after we got married, we had to come up with a little entity for like some of our investments and things like that. And so we jump on the Arizona Secretary of State, looking at trade names and things like that. And I thought to myself, there's no way Copper Star Farms is still available in the Copper State of Arizona with our Copper Star on our flag. I thought there's no way. And sure enough, that was available. And so our family entity is Copper Star Farms. And so that started, right after we got married. And so then, as we were thinking of business names, Brad had thrown around Copper Star Real Estate for a while, and it just fit for us that, it's kind of our family thing. We love it. It represents both of our roots. We're both Arizona natives. We love Arizona. We love the Copper Star on our flag, what it represents, and it just, felt like it fit. So we went for it. And that wasn't taken either. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that
So
they were both available.
we got lucky, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And speaking of longtime Buckeye residents, you both were born and raised here in Buckeye.
So I actually wasn't born here. I moved here when I was 2.
He was 2. So
Yes.
he missed it by 2 years. He was born on the east
But
side.
it's pretty much all
He's an
I
Arizona
remember.
native,
Yeah. Born over in Chandler, and then my family moved to Buckeye and bought a dairy farm here, and both of us come from dairy and agricultural families, and have been in business here in Buckeye for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
But I am truly born and raised in Buckeye.
Yes.
He missed it by 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So give us a brief description of what you do for business.
So primarily, like I said, it's land brokerage. Raw land, a lot of farm ground, just because of my background with agriculture and water rights. That's what I prefer to work on, but it really is all types of land, and a variety of uses, from an acre for a home all the way up to several thousand acres for large projects, whether that be residential subdivision, industrial development. There's really a lot of different classes when you start working with land. So I've got a big buyer list, and separate lists for different categories depending on the type of land that we're working on, the type of clients we're serving, and what the ultimate goals are for our clients, or what we feel is the best fit for the land and what the market is telling us.
And let me hype him up a little bit, because you'll hear some real estate agents say, like, oh, I just do homes, or I do this. I won't touch land. Like, I won't do it. Because what he's not saying is it's very complex. From, as you know, like the water rights and, certain things that go into play, working with cities, working with county. And so it's incredibly complex. And so what Brad, I feel, has made a name for himself is the full institutional knowledge of the history of it all and the current situation, where it's going. Like, that's where I feel like he really shines and really helps clients that come to him, is that he's thinking of things they didn't even know that they needed to be thinking about. And so I think that's where he comes in and really does, a great job for the clients, whether it's, the seller or the buyer, is bringing that knowledge. Just having that with him, I think is the full package of what helps him stand out with, local agencies and what goes on with land and beyond. So I had to hype you
Well,
up a little
thank
bit,
you.
yeah.
Appreciate that. Land is very complex. A lot of times you need to look at how a piece of land fits in regionally. Sometimes there's challenges with utilities. A lot of times the city, like the city of Buckeye, could have in their general plan an idea what should be developed there and what that land should be for. And sometimes you have a developer that comes in and has a completely different idea, and they'll bring something to the table, and there's a process to go through the city of Buckeye or whoever the municipality is. Sometimes it could be Maricopa County, and presenting a plan to them that ultimately gets approved, and then you figure out the utilities and what you need to actually develop. So I really enjoy working on land. Each piece I feel like is its own little history lesson. You can dig into a piece of land and you can learn a lot about some of the families that were originally there, what was done on the property, and then sometimes you run into title issues, but I've been in this business for a long time, and I still learn stuff every single day when I start getting into a deal and we start uncovering things, and for me that's a lot of fun. And then another thing that I really enjoy is just working with families. A lot of times I've had the opportunity to work on a lot of family legacy pieces where it's the family farm. And so it was passed down from one generation to another generation. And so even the thought of selling this piece or the family farm, it has just so much weight, and it's a really big thing for the family, and it's really special to be part of that process and to help guide them through sometimes a complex transaction, and then also try to point them in the right direction on what do we do after we sell this, and how do we split this up amongst the family heirs. And there's just so many things that once you look at a sale, it can just really be a blessing to the family, and it's just so fun to be part of that process, because a lot of times this is sometimes 50 years in the making to come to this point, and it's just a huge honor to be able to walk someone through that transaction and that situation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you mentioned earlier that you've been in business for a long time. How long have you been in business? And then how long have you had your companion here
Okay.
with you?
Well, so I've got my real estate license in 2007, and really I started getting exposed to real estate and land brokerage even back in high school. We started to see the city of Buckeye growing, and my family was a part of a few real estate deals that I found it very interesting. And so when I went to college, very quickly I decided to make my focus real estate. And once I got out of college, I got my real estate license and have been doing it ever since. And I got married to Erin about 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so we've been business partners for 12 years.
Yeah. Well, and probably for the first couple of years of our marriage, I had no clue what he did. Like, you'd say land brokerage, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. So it took a while, but then, the more he would share about what he did, then the more interested I kind of became. And so I decided to get my license. I started in 2021 getting my license because I wanted to be able to come to the table as a business partner discussing deals with him, and so wanted to do it, of course, the right way and get my license as well. And that kind of spurred the idea of like, okay, if I get my license, he's got a designated brokerage, which means he could open his own firm. I was kind of jokingly like, hey, why don't you be my designated broker for my real estate company? Which then turned into like, hey, we can actually do this together. So anyways, it's been neat learning the business, but I love, strategizing with him and helping him, come up with ideas. And it's been a lot of fun for me, which I never saw coming. So yeah, it's been fun.
And how many employees do you have?
We have 0 employees, and I learned very early on working with some partners that in this business, you really you want to keep your overhead low to be able to better serve a lot of your clients. And so everyone that works with us is an independent contractor, and so we just had the opportunity to bring on our first sales associate. His name's Tyler Dugan, and he's a young guy with agricultural background, kind of like myself, and a lot of his family is down in Pinal County. And so we've teamed up, and he's already doing a great job and serving some markets in some areas that I'm not as active in. And so, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and look forward to working with Tyler. But yeah, we don't have any employees, just sales associates, and everyone's an independent contractor. And that's by design to keep our expenses low and to better serve our clients.
Cool. And I can add to that a little bit. He said by design, and he's totally right, because we've been strong believers in that you never want your clients, whether it's buying or selling, to ever feel pressure. And so as a couple and as business owners, we want to operate in a way to where this next deal, our entire lives, we're not hinging on needing this commission or needing this deal to close. We can sit back and truly be comfortable and serve our clients in the best way, to where it's not reflective. We don't ever want them to feel any sort of pressure, either way. And I think by managing our personal finances and operating the business in a way that allows for that, I think just only adds that, I would hope, the extra comfort level when folks are working with us. So
I would call that value.
I like that.
I like that
Added
too.
value.
Absolutely.
Like that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Teddy.
Hey, you are welcome. That's what I do. All right. What's the one thing that would help take your business to the next level?
Wow. You could have got me these questions before you put me in front of the camera.
I'll say a little bit of this while I'll help you think.
Yeah.
I think technology, honestly, I feel like a lot of, especially the larger buyers, we're not talking necessarily the family farms, but those large end users and operators want views from all angles. So we're looking at, drone technologies to really showcase the property or what it could be. And then my role is I've stepped back as being active with my license, and I typically do like office management basically. So I run the website, and I upload our marketing packages and help kind of on the back end of things. And so I would say for me on that point, it would be making sure that the website is up to date and helps things look well and really give a good show for our clients who are both looking or selling. So I think technology and the wave of what's coming next, for me, that would help keep us relevant and look sharp and all that kind of stuff for the market. But did that give you time to think?
Well, it did, and I that has really helped. Just Erin does a lot of things that I don't enjoy doing, and she's just really good at it. So she has a different skill set that has really helped our business, helped our brand. I feel like we've got a fantastic website that's very user friendly, And I love it. Someone can call me asking about one of our listings, and as I'm on the phone, I can text them a marketing package. And it's really neat what Aaron and the company has been able to do with technology, and I feel like we've just scratched the surface. So I do feel like we can better serve our clients as we get better with technology, but already I feel like we've got some great systems and processes in place to be able to work really well with buyers, work great with brokers, and be very accessible. And if you list your property with us, we want to make sure that you're getting great exposure and are very accessible to the market, because that's what helps get the eyes on it and gets the calls and ultimately gets that deal done.
All right, here's a question. How do you stay connected with your customers and understand their needs?
That's a good question. It's for me, it's understanding what they need, what their goals are. Because if you sit down with them and you come to the table with, hey, here's what you should do, that may not resonate with the client. And so you have to understand what their purpose is for selling, or what they want to do next, because sometimes those things usually are hand in hand. And so it doesn't matter what price or what deal you bring them, if they don't know what to do next, then sometimes the deal doesn't get put together. So it's really just understanding what the client wants, and to try to help them get their goals, and provide them with all the information for them to make an informed decision. Because a lot of times someone can want a price or have a goal to sell for a certain price, but if the market's not there, the market doesn't support that, you have all these challenges that have to be overcome. You have to be able to just present that so that when they do get offers that could be below their price expectations, they're able to make an informed choice that, you know what, maybe I'm not selling today, or maybe it's just not the right time. Or they could look at something and say, with all these challenges and this offer that I've got, this is a great opportunity and allows me to go on and do the next thing or the next investment, whatever they decide to do.
And I'll add to that, Teddy. I think when you said connection, I immediately thought of, sitting in their place and being in their shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what both Brad and I bring to the table is a level of understanding of a lived experience, especially for the families when we're talking generational farms. Both of us now, our families have sold the family farm. And so, where I would imagine other places would, hey, you've got a great property, we're going to get this, X amount, you're going to get your dream, buyout, this, that, and the other, without maybe understanding the emotional piece of, also what you're ending, which in my family's case was 4 generations of, family dairy farm, and Brad's, I think you guys were at 3 or 4. And so just that understanding of like having it both, and yes, it's exciting. Yes, we'll work hard to get the best price, but also, and I'm gonna get emotional, but also understanding the weight. I don't think any farmer, and this is maybe bold to say, thinks it's going to end with them. Yeah. And sometimes it does, and that's okay. But understanding that there's a lot of emotion in that too. And so as we're walking through these clients and these families, Brad and I talk about that all the time, and just how can we serve them, not just, on the dotted line with the end number, but also, the emotional support is what I want to call it, but just the understanding to walk through with these families, at their biggest moment that maybe they never thought would be them at the table. And so I think with connection and serving our clients, I think we both offer that lived experience as well. And yeah, I just think that's an extra element that we can provide. So
Absolutely. And with that, it's very rarely am I or Aaron and I the only people helping in this transaction. Um, we we bring a lot of people to the table, whether it be investment folks, a real estate attorney, zoning attorney. There's
surveyor.
yeah, yeah, surveyors, engineers. There's so many professionals that as you get into a deal, you have to bring other people to the table to really help out and ultimately get to the finish line, or once the deal's closed, now what? And so um, it takes a lot of planning. A lot of times when I sit with a client and they're ready to put their property on the market, it could be a month or sometimes several months before we hit the market, because we have to do a lot of homework understanding what the issues are, because when we hit the market, we want to be able to provide the buyers and the market with all the information, because we want to be able to be in a position to accept an offer and to move forward on a deal. But if we don't have all the information, that can really delay or slow things up. And so I've been just so blessed to be able to meet so many great people within the industry that do things that are just outside of my scope of work, and they come to the table and do a great job. And it really is a team approach of trying to bring a lot of the right people to the table to ultimately serve the client and get the deal done.
I love your heart.
Mm.
I do.
Thanks.
So with that said, I'm good at throwing niceties out. Now I need an answer. What's your favorite part of membership with the Buckeye Valley Chamber of Commerce?
I can answer this right now. It's relationships. It's the networking. It's the relationships. I know there's a saying, I've heard it a lot, that when you've seen one chamber, you've seen one chamber. And I wholeheartedly believe that. I think Buckeye Valley Chamber, what is unique and special about this chamber is the relationships. It's beyond the business. Yes, we care about each other's business and, we want to support each other, but we're also asking about, families. We're asking about, upcoming things. And so I believe that's what truly makes this chamber special. And what I love is getting to see the faces of everybody at the coffees or at the networking events, and then supporting their businesses. It's like almost the business support is second nature, because
Right.
you've gotten to know each other at a deeper level. And I think the way you guys operate it here really fosters that, and I commend you for that, and I thank you for that. And I think it just really shines a light on the Buckeye community itself. And yeah, it feels like a small business family out here that's growing every day. And I love how we open our arms to those new people, and that's what I love is the relationships for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Family, it does very much feel like a family. And what's neat is getting to know the people that get involved with the chamber. It is great to know what they do for business and how you can support them. But what's so neat is how when we get together on a Tuesday for coffee, or at some of these different events, is you really see the heart and the passion that these business leaders and businesses have for our community and serving our community. So it's way more than the business, which we're passionate about our business, and I can say that about everyone that I'm meeting within the chamber. But it's that heart for the community. It's how can we come together, where are the needs in our community to serve, and so that's what's neat when we get together in a room. And I think it makes a real difference. So I'm so glad to be part of the Buckeye Valley Chamber, and I get so much value out of it, but it is that family, and I feel part of the Buckeye family, and just part of this community when we get involved with the Buckeye Valley Chamber.
We are so lucky to have Copper State as
Copper
a
Star, Teddy.
Oh.
It's the star. We get Copper State all the time.
Well, one of those
I'm
Coppers.
teasing you. Yeah.
It's Copper
We are
Star.
the Copper State, yeah.
Copper Star in the Copper State.
There you go.
That's right.
That's our new tagline.
All right, which brings us to some final questions, and these are probably the hardest ones of them all.
Okay.
So I'll need you to answer, Aaron,
Okay.
and then you answer, Brad.
Okay.
All right. So, what was your first job?
First job, 3rd grade, cleaning the barn for my dad after school. I'd hop off the school bus and I'd get to spray the manure off the stalls and the walls of the barn, and that was my job. Yeah.
Same. Started out on the dairy every Saturday, cleaning the barn, and it started in kindergarten. And even when I first got my license, I would go back to the dairy on the weekends to try to get some hours in so I could afford rent. And it was awesome. I needed that before the deals started coming in, and got some closings under my belt. So the dairy.
What's your favorite AZ sports team?
I would say Phoenix Suns. I'm a Suns girl through and through. The 90s, I mean, you can't beat that team. I still believe it. They were the best team we've ever had. I would say Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth between the Phoenix Suns and Sun Devil football. I grew up watching ASU, was fortunate enough to go to the Rose Bowl, the 97 Rose Bowl with Jake Plummer, and I can't believe we didn't come out victorious, but man, yeah, that's ASU football probably.
Tacos or burgers?
Ooh, okay.
Depends on the day.
Well, I was gonna say I've got my mom. My mom makes an amazing chicken taco. So if it's my mother's chicken tacos, all day, yeah.
Yeah, it really depends on the day. I could do burgers every day, but I could live on tacos too. I love tacos.
McDonald's or Taco Bell?
Oh gosh.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
My favorite too.
Yeah.
Beer or wine?
Ooh. Okay. So we started this a while ago. So first of all, Brad got me into beer. I was not a beer drinker. I thought, I've had the just kind of bad beers in my, mid-20s, and he's like, no, there's better beers out there. So he's enlightened me on the beer scene. But I do have to say, we've gotten into this rotation of red wines during the winter, white wines during the summer, and I really enjoy that. So he always reads the labels and kind of is real intricate with picking out the wine. So I love to see what he'll bring home. But I would say, I'm more of a wine gal. Your beer.
Yeah, beer usually, but yeah, I like a good wine every once in a while. Yeah. So yeah, it depends on where I'm at.
Okay, Brad.
It's beer. Fine. Don't make him choose between burgers and tacos. And beer.
No, but he got that real quick. All right. Football or baseball?
Oh, basketball, Teddy. It's basketball for me, man.
Football.
It's basketball all day.
And the final question? ASU or U of A?
Go Devils.
Yeah. Oh, if I had to choose. So we grew up, watching all the sports, and so we cheer for U of A basketball, ASU football, and so I always feel like I'm impartial. But no, I'm gonna stay impartial because that's the honest truth.
Sun Devils.
Yeah. Sorry, that's not what you wanted.
No, it's what I want. That's not what I want. I want what you want.
Oh, thank you.
I want what you want. Aaron and Brad, it's been a pleasure sitting down and talking to you. Copper Star Realty, your heart for the people. It's amazing couple. Will one day be my boss.
You can't say that.
Yes, I can. One year, 2 months, and
Stop it.
I'm not supposed to say that, so I'll edit that part out. But it's been an honor and a pleasure to interview you guys.
Thank you, Teddy.
This has been great for me. And there ends another episode of Buckeye Biz Buzz, brought to you by Tedy Burton, your happy-go-lucky friend raiser. See you next time.